All right, what we got going on today, this evening, well, tonight, it's 10 where I'm at, live in Brazil. We're going to be talking about the NoLimit Calvin situation that done went on, man. As they say online, rest in peace, man, been unalived, murdered by some migrants. You feel me? And I don't want to just say migrants as if they not real people. You feel me? They people. But this is becoming a situation. This is clearly becoming a situation. We're gonna talk about that. We're gonna talk about Calvin's situation. We're gonna look at some videos, really just do a little review of CSP video. Then we're gonna get into the situation in Kenya, man, and how that affects a lot of people throughout the Americas. And we could just look at history and how history is rolling right now. History is pretty much like damn near repeating itself verbatim. So it's pretty important for us, from my perspective. It's very important for us to look at these things and not just for entertainment purposes, but because it ain't entertainment. So it ain't about entertainment at all. This is really about life. This is about what's going on in our communities all around the world and how it's connected. You see what I'm saying? And how this is connected to your family and how you could be, put yourself in a situation where prayer for these types of things don't be happening to you and your loved ones. You know what I'm saying? So let's just check it out real quick. Let's see. First off, before we look at the migrant crisis, let's check out what my man is saying here, CSP, about the NoLimit situation. Let's just check him out. First off top, man, that's a lot of accusations. And I ain't gonna even say they just accusations, because there's a lot of shit going on in the news right now about a lot of this shit. You see what I'm saying? About how a lot of these people is coming over from overseas. They more than likely some ex-prisoners. You know what I'm saying? They rap sheets probably crazy. And they clearly out here going up. They turning up on some literal street shit. You feel me? Like a lot of shit. Let's continue to listen to my man. So clearly here is some situations going on when you put people from a third world country. We ain't even just talking about third world country like that's the situation, because shit, it's some third world countries that ain't got shit to do with, the violence that's typically attributed to a lot of these, say, criminal organizations, or you feel me? Talking about like the mob. You talking about El Chapo type motherfuckers coming over here. Motherfuckers is chopping off heads. You feel me? They got motherfuckers over here that's seen a whole bunch of shit. You see what I'm saying? And when you looking at, a lot of these videos and shit about what's going on in fucking Mexico and Colombia and Venezuela, They got prisons. They locking motherfuckers up forever, and they shaving their heads, packed full of them. This shit crazy. The motherfuckers come from that situation, and they in America. I doubt if all of them can speak English. They still linked up. So think about it, man. On their whole road up here, they probably like, man, let's get into some shit. We know we finna get into some shit, and it's interesting because it ain't just about what's going on these streets. We're gonna keep listening to this, but then we're gonna see how this shit is connected globally with the immigration policies that's going on. It's damn near like the world is getting set up for a whole new cycle of immigrants coming in, being paid by foreigners to invade properties. This sounding like the original story of America around this motherfucker. You feel me? Like they trying to rewind the hands of time and relive this shit out to try to create a horrible ass divided and conquered masses. You feel me? So they could incorporate some more bullshit. But you know, as a people, that's why we chopping it up. That's why we looking at all this shit, because we tribing up. We tribing up. It ain't just about like not fucking with the migrants. It ain't about that. It's about making sure we are, who we need to be. You feel me? And then at the end of the day, I'm sure it's some migrants that ain't on that. I'm sure it's, and I don't want to just say migrants. I'm sure it's some people that's from overseas that ain't on that. I'm sure it's some that's just trying to take care of their family and all that. Just like it's some in Chicago that's just trying to take care of their family, probably not on the streets. Yet at the end of the day, it's a lot of shit getting mixed up and messy all over the country of America, all over the world. The shit's going to the UK and shit too now. Let's continue to see what the fuck going on right here, man. Now that's this is real. This is getting us into like how the masses look at situations versus how situations really is. And at the end of the day, it's been a lot of propaganda. We could think about it. It's been a lot of propaganda throughout America for years. For years, that's just like painting the perspective of what a migrant, what a person from Mexico or Venezuela doing. Yeah, they hard working, they got their families. I mean, that's what we witnessed. We was over here. Since I was young, you feel me, in America, you'll see like Mexicans moving over, you feel me, or getting their own spots, like 5 families in the spot. You know what I'm saying? After like a month, they got 3 cribs. You know, after fucking 2 months, they got 10, 20 cars. They move in 20 more families, and they doing it like that. But I guess after years and years and years of that, you know, I mean, it's like the original American story happened around in this motherfucker. You feel me? The Aboriginals on the land let some migrants come through to handle some business only, and they get, you know what I'm saying, real tough, start taking over property, and they gave up damn near all America. They act like it wasn't our land and gave away millions of acres like we wasn't really still here. Now, what's that gonna look like in the modern days? Because that's what's going on. They got migrants going on, and it ain't even like these individuals are the cause of the situation. We got people in higher places that it looks like is coordinating this all over the world. I ain't gonna continue down this video, but my man talks about, you feel me, like even how Trump brought it up. Trump was talking about, hey, you got migrants coming over that created all types of crimes, and they just coming through hundreds of thousands. I can confess, I was in Michigan, and man, listen, this was 10 years ago when I was in Michigan, and I saw like people flying, you know, riding around with Al Qaeda flags and shit, and around Coldwater, Michigan, and a lot of them other little cities, man, like throughout Michigan, man. Shit was kind of crazy. But it was like a regularity, like they got their own little cities, little towns ducked off throughout America already. So I truly perceive that it's all types of people in America. It's already a melting pot. Been migrants coming from all types of countries. The original aboriginals is still fighting to stand up and get their original rights. Now you got a whole new classes of migrants coming in on top. It's just making this picture pretty interesting. What we got to do, man, ain't no telling. Now let's just take this to the next level and look and see. It's a migrant crisis going on all over the world, but let's look at the UK, because typically when something happened in the UK, right after that shit happened there, the same shit started happening in America. Like, it's just like a trickle effect of history, and we can learn about why a lot later, because the United States of America is still just the administrative arm of the crown. But before we get too deep into that, let's check out this next video and see what's going on in the UK, y'all. See, it's a lot of shit happening at a higher level. It's a lot of shit happening at a higher level, and they want to break it down on the ground. Like in Chicago, they want to make it seem like it's some gang shit. It's just about gangs. Yeah, that's what the news is showing. But on a higher level, how many millions and billions of dollars is getting made? You feel me? Through all these immigrant aid packages. You feel me? Where's the money going? We should start following the money. We might have to start following the money, seeing who is getting paid for all of this. You see what I'm saying? Because, and then how are these laws operating? You feel me? Like, what the fuck is really going on? People crossing the borders, hundreds of thousands. We still in America. You know what I'm saying? People is in America attempting to live their lives. They already got the government to deal with and the local police to deal with, not perceiving that they on their side, and then the financial system to deal with. A whole bunch of injustices for aboriginals and black people. Let's say black people, if that's what you understand. You know, a whole bunch of injustices historically, consistently. We waking up as a people collectively, getting our bearings together right now, like kings kinging up, queens queening up, tribing up, looking at paperwork and documentation, how we can get up out these jams. And all while this happening, you got millions and millions of more motherfuckers coming over here who have no idea what the true history of this country is. So not only do we got the opposite of, and they ain't necessarily got to be ours, but they acting like it's so shit. It is what it is. A lot of police, a lot of government agencies, a lot of banks and insurance agencies, shit. People that look like you and don't look like you. You got to watch out. Now we got a whole nother groups of motherfuckers to watch out for. Shit getting real. Shit's getting real. Shit is getting real. You feel what I'm saying? Real. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna even watch the rest of that, because at the end and the beginning of the day, this shit crazy. Oh, you in Sacramento, blacks moving in droves. Oh shit. What my man say about that? They want to rid America of black men. Yeah, black women are with non-blacks here now. Well, shit, it's a whole bunch of shit going on. It's definitely a whole bunch of shit going on, Polo. Look, at the end of the day, the way we living right now, I would say this about the black and white shit. Look, on some level, anything that divides us is some bullshit. There's different levels of life, right? On one level, anything that could divide us is bullshit. You feel me? Like, what I mean is color, race. When you study race just came into being. Race is something that's new to America, that's new to the world. You feel me? Like less than a couple hundred years. You feel me? Race was created to divide people. And that's something that people had already did research on. So you got that situation, but then it does become real because you got cultures. You feel me? You got culture. If people start believing, hey, you know what I'm saying, I'm better off dealing with another race. Why? Because they can see the drama and stuff that you got to, that black people facing or that aboriginals facing. Like, it's hard out here sometimes when you are labeled a minority, but you're the majority, and that's us. You feel what I'm saying? That's the truth. A lot of people buy into the lie. So yeah, it's a lot of racism. It's a lot of isms. It's a lot of religious isms. People fighting because of different religions, different races, and all that shit. But at the end and the beginning of the day, at some point, we are all energy. At some point, some of us got souls and maybe some of them don't. You see what I'm saying? But at the end and the beginning of the day, you got to tribe up. What do I mean? You got to identify who you actually agree with living with. What rules and regulations you agree to uphold and maintain. And that's how you start a tribe. You get your social compact. Hey, we living like this. This is the rules we got. Shit, and this is what we own. Especially for the aboriginals of America, we gotta take back all our land before shit. They act like we ain't got no land, we ain't got nothing to say or nothing. We gotta take back all our land. We definitely gotta claim all our land. We gotta claim all our money from all these banks and insurance accounts. We gotta get this shit together, man, because shit, a lot of the money flowing to them. A lot of the money right now is flowing to the migrants, man. And we're gonna check that out, that video out a little bit right now. We're gonna get into this video about this black woman who lost her business and sold it to a migrant because they getting loan money. Yet she had to work very hard to get some money, and that's what's going on. My man say Africans started coming over here in the 70s, gang banging, follow soon after. Man, at the end of the beginning of the day, at some point, there's some people running some money games. They running some money games and they running some social engineering games. They don't give a fuck about red, black, white, yellow, green, purple, orange, or blue. At some level, it's some people out here that just, they give a fuck about chaos. They eating off of chaos. They getting money off of chaos. They sucking up energy off of chaos. The more chaos, the more drama. The more drama, the more people can't focus. The more you can't focus, the more you can't tribe up. The more you can't tribe up, the more your trust funds gonna be fucked up. You can't get your claims right. And as long as that's the situation, it's a whole bunch of, let's just call them some fake motherfuckers that's acting like they the rulers of the world, who realistically are just some provisional leaders. They just provisionary lead this shit. You feel me? My man disagree. That's cool. Blacks live in ghettos, no black. Man, I damn near would invite you in here talking the shit you talking, but we're gonna keep on moving, all right? So let's check out old girl. Let's see what she talk about here. Let's just see what she talk about so we could get another perspective of this migrant situation and how this shit is popping. Yeah, it's caste system anywhere people respect the caste system, but it doesn't mean it's the only system. You feel me? We could pop in, man. Look, I might have to shit. I don't know, man. I may gotta find some way of getting a link for you up in this bitch, bro. Matter of fact, here you go. I'm gonna create this little StreamYard link. There you go. Just tap in. I'm about to chop it up about old girl though, real quick, and we're gonna see what my man Polo Real talking about. But let's see what's up with old girl who done had some money. She worked her ass off to get paid, build her credit. She got denied for loans and shit. But then the migrant got some money, was able to buy her shit from her. So we got to work hard and shit, hard as fuck to get up. You feel me? They treating us like slaves. We learned why if you look at the video, What is a Family? You feel me? Look through a video I dropped called What is a Family? You'll be able to see that. But at the end and the beginning of the day, I say we got to relabel ourselves. We got to live based upon the facts of who we know we are. You feel what I'm saying? Tribe up, get our trust right. But let's see what old girl had to go through and how this might, all types of shit is going on around this motherfucker. All types of shit is going on around this motherfucker. Hey, they getting money. She say it's immigrants around this motherfucker getting paid for absolutely shit. Just the fact that they here. It's sounding to me, I ain't gonna lie, y'all. This shit sounding like these motherfuckers are just trying to press rewind and trying to trap motherfuckers in the world like 200-300 years ago. It looks like these motherfuckers is trying to reverse time and redo the whole damn found America over again. What do I mean by that? Well, when America started, okay, this United States of America, right? 1776, around that time with the New Jersey and all of this shit. At the end of the day, what happened? Foreigners from Europe, prisoners from Europe came over acting like they wanted to handle some business, started raping and pillaging and taking all types of land, dividing and conquering. You feel me? Getting in between families, getting in between beefs, fucking shit up. And what happens? You feel me? Whole bunch of wars. The original Aboriginal Indians act like we ain't even here no more. Start relabeling us niggas and colors and shit. The migrants, they came in, start acting like these migrants are the real Americans. Start calling them Native Americans and shit. Start calling up their cousins and they motherfucking homeboys from all over the countries and all these European countries and these motherfucking places. They nomadic everywhere. And did what? Gave out millions of our acres, gave out our property, motherfuckers. Yeah, it's our property, motherfuckers that look like us, the original Aboriginal Americans in this motherfucker. Gave out millions of our land, gave out all of our heritage, took over all of our castles, trying to take our last names, act like we ain't even no real motherfuckers no more. And then what's going on now? What's going on now? Now it's 200 years later, and we up in this motherfucker trying to wake the fuck up and trying to get back, do some research, get our paperwork right, and find out how we're going to get our land back. And all while we try and get our land back, they on like the third, fourth, fifth wave of new motherfuckers around this bitch, raping, pillaging, taking, and doing whatever the fuck they want to do. Hey, we got somebody in this bitch. Polo Real. What's up, Polo, man?
What's going on, bro? How you doing, man?
Man, I'm all good, bro. I'm up in this motherfucker. We just started Tribes and Trust TV, but I'm telling you, we gonna be coming hard. There's some shit going on all around the world, man. What you see? What you want to talk about? What you been seeing, man? Got you lit?
Well, I live in Sacramento, California, man. So I like to, every time I see a black person, with gang banging in California, 10 years ago, blacks were like this towards each other. Now it's so scarce because the cost of living has exploded. It's so many migrants coming over. We got the Bay Area crisis. I don't know if you've heard about Oakland, California, but, every car out there is getting vandalized. They got this thing called blipping. Sideshows are killing people. This police department is like
blipping sideshows.
Yeah, no, they have this thing called blipping. So what they do is if you got nice vehicles or they find nice neighborhoods or whatever, they're going to break all your windows, go rummage your car, and then they're going to get on. That's going to leave you with the expenses to fix your windows. And the cost of living is so high. It's like, do I pay the car payment or do I pay car insurance? Now, I have a good job. I have great income. You know, I'm actually a single father too. I take care of my daughter and my son by myself.
Yeah.
My mom lives in St. Louis, Missouri, so she doesn't pay me anything, so I can afford insurance. But my peers that look like me, especially the women, they can have the cars, but it's
Yeah.
like, I'd pay for car insurance or medical insurance because, you know, our sisters, they need that medical care, you know, so everybody has to pick and choose. So when you get blipped, you're going to have to pay a lot more because you got to fix the windows, you got to get that fixed.
Right.
And if you have car insurance, that raises the premiums. But also, we've seen out here that there are certain communities that like to cause disruptions for others, well, you know, to get you out to move their people in, you know, so
Yeah.
a lot of the times you might think it's somebody that looks like you, but it could be one of these Indians, Arabs, Asians, whites, or, you know, one of these non-blacks. Now, one thing I want to say is throughout history, the 60s is profound. I used to think it was really racial, but now I'm starting to see that if your family have ties before JFK, MLK, Malcolm X, Medgar Evers, and Marilyn Monroe was assassinated all through the 60s, if your family was here before that, before they passed the Civil Rights Act, the Immigration Act, and did the whole trick bag like Loving in Virginia and everything else to throw all that in one, then you're American. But if you came after that, you have no allegiance to this country. You have no and you got to remember, there's Mexicans that are Americans too, because we had the Mexican-American War where they annexed those Western states like California, Texas, New Mexico.
Facts. That whole West Coast is Mexico.
Exactly. But the Mexicans, they told those Mexicans that were over here still, they were like, look, you leave and abandon that land and you come over here and you denounce that and you become Mexican. But if you stay over there, you're not Mexican no more. You're one of those. You're American, because it was wartime at that time. And so they're American too. Right now, what I see is everything is plotting down. When they kill, I'm sorry about the K word. When they delete it,
man, look, is that illegal on YouTube or some shit?
Yeah, the censorship is crazy.
What, you can't get monetized or what?
When you say so, when you say
I don't give a fuck about the monetization, man.
But okay, so when with Marilyn Monroe, right? If you look in history, and you know, I've only been with black women. So when the sisters I like, they able to, you know, they can wear a fro, or they can straighten their hair. It got a nice little length. They can wear think about Marilyn Monroe, how she used to wear those natural hairstyles, have the bump. You know, she was behind the scenes. She was who she was. But as far as the standard of beauty and the women at that time, you cannot deny it, man. Black women were stellar at that time. So were white women at that time. So once they smacked off Marilyn Monroe, man, the standard of beauty for women kind of tanked and they became more, you know. So then we have Martin Luther King. He had the Christian side, but Malcolm X was kind of tricked because there was no Islam in America before Malcolm X and the Nation of Islam and the guy Farrakhan's teacher.
I hear you with this, but what's the major point? What you really perceive?
It builds up. They have They have Medgar Evers in Africa. He was teaching liberation and independence. They smacked him off too, and all over the place. So let me tell you how this aligns. Once that happened, they legalized interracial marriage with Loving in Virginia, which was a sister and a white man. And then they had the suffrage movement, which is the feminist movement. These are rich white women that were upset with white men because black men at the time were leading the civil rights era because our men were working. They were taking care of their families, but they weren't getting the same opportunities as white men at the time. And with segregation, you know, the cost disparity and everything. So the white women were coming to their men and saying, how are you going to liberate and free the black man, the N-word, over your own wife? So those women went into the communities and started to talk to the women like, don't you want to work like your men? Don't you want to have to be able to add? Don't you want to be able to take care of your family? These women already have good marriages, good families, wealthy families, but the black women didn't. So they're seeing it about the money, and not just sisters, any woman of color here. So they threw that trick bag in. Suffrage movement hijacked the civil rights movement that knocked black men from right under white men to the bottom, because that put everybody of color and women. So it put white men, women, and then women of color, and then any man of color, and then it put black men at the bottom, sort of like a caste system with that. So that flipped that, right? So you have the suffrage movement that hijacked the civil rights movement, especially, and interracial marriage, and then you have the Immigration Act of 1965. This all happened after JFK was because he seen it coming. So then they put Lyndon B. Johnson in office, and he slid all this through, and the Welfare Act as well. So not only are we getting attacked by our way to bring in, provide, we got the Welfare Act that's incentivizing, and then we have all the immigration that's becoming the buffer class between us. And then you also have to remember, the white man at that time was hearing this from his white woman. Don't you think the white man, when he brought in the immigration, was just like, well, since you want to go around all these other races and include these women, and you want to be around my workspaces and be around, man, you want to be equal, I'm going to bring in every other color of woman to divide us. And you can go live around them N-words, and I'm going to be in my place. And that's why a lot of those men at that time of prominence, they got mixed race and everything. Now, this adds up.
Let me hear this point. Let me hear this point.
Okay, so that leads up to bring in other people. It's not just black and white. You brought in everybody else now. Right. So now we're going to fast forward to today. There's something called a caste system in India and in South America, Central America. The caste system is more so white up top, black down the bottom. In India, they call the black folks at the bottom untouchables. And, you know, they mark them up with things, you know, with certain to identify them, right? And so here in America, you know, you have blacks that are established and that live in neighborhoods. I'm pretty sure you got a great grandmother that you went to when you were a little kid, and her and great and Pawpaw lived in the suburbs. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
And so, but now we don't have that opportunity, because those immigrants that came over when they were young and got the education, they live in those neighborhoods now. So what I'm starting to see is they're starting to push the blacks. They're starting to keep the blacks in certain areas with the redlining, with the Hispanics to compete, and the Arabs. But the Arabs, they don't really mix with us. You know, I've never seen anybody mix with us. Then you got the Hispanics. The Hispanics are starting to become nationalized. And there's other Hispanics coming over from different countries. So if you don't speak Spanish, they can really just kind of block you out. With the black culture, we have so many vices with the gangbang, the self-hate, and we have a prostitution culture. When you step out of that, who's outside of the Hispanics? You got the Indians. The Indians are going to barricade you, the Hispanics and the blacks, from the white folks and the Asians. So that's why you have, if you seen that video with Juvenile and American Airlines, white pilot, Indian stewardess. You see what I mean? And so that's gonna divide it. Now, if you talk to a lot of sisters, there's a lot of women that's of not black descent, since the Democrats have put in this gender war nonsense to separate us, because you didn't see it last term, but you start seeing it all this term. Now sisters are being harassed and discriminated against on a mass because they don't have no protection. Everybody think black men don't mess with black women, so they there for themselves. So they being called N-words and getting talked to by these Asian nail salon ladies, the Hispanic ladies, the Caucasian ladies at their job. You can look at the video, you can look at the videos on the internet and everything else. But black men.
Yeah, now, I hear you and I feel you. I feel you and I hear you. If we continue to look at this situation and label ourselves and others based on color lines or religious lines, do you think we can even possibly come up with a solution if we looking at life like that?
I believe that you have to think like that, but I think the religion context got to be taken out. I think that it goes from where you're from and what your cause is. A lot of blacks in America, if they put it like this, if they segregate everything, if it goes by nationality, ethnicity, and race, blacks in America have no choice but to stick together. We can't go to Africans, because Africans know we not from there. We too removed from there. We can't go to the Caribbeans. If you go to a Jamaican, a Haitian, an African, they're going to say they Jamaican, Haitian, Caribbean, or African. They're not going to say they us. And so we have to look at it from that line, and we have to take our strong suits and we have to take our weak suits, and we have to strengthen on that. We have to come together. Look, whites, there's white Muslims, there's white Christians, there's white atheists, but the white communities still stand. The Indian communities are thriving. They're
okay. So I hear you. I hear you. I overstand. And at the same time, I perceive we got to increase our complexity, like our ability to come at a complex problem with a complex solution. Because, yes, at some level it's black and white, yellow and green, Indian and American, black and white. You know, it's that simple. At a whole nother level as well, like think about the shirt you got on. Ain't no telling what races was making it. Ain't no telling what races or religious people were making the shirt, or the computer we got, or the gun you got, or anything in your house. So what do I mean? At the point of operation and business or getting some shit done, colors don't matter. But it matters when you're thinking about social engineering, when you're thinking about getting people to a certain group to think a certain way, or a certain location to do a certain thing in the masses, on a mass level. When you want to move people, you have to create these divided ideas. And I'm just stating, if we look back, we rewind time to before, when the word white just meant you from North Africa, you feel me? And it had nothing to do with color, right? When the word white meant, okay, you from North Africa, the original European area, it didn't have nothing. Yes.
Can I respond to that?
You can. In 1 second, you can. Okay. I'm down with that. But when the word white meant something different, before the word Negro even was spoken, you feel me? When literally a lot of the last names people have, they're based on where you were from, location, not based on your color or your blood. That's why a lot of people got names that white people got and black people got, and we think somebody was a slave and a slave master. But some of that is just because, hey, we were all the same family at some point because of the location we lived at. Call ourselves Chicagoans or St. Louisans, or you feel me? So the last names are based on the location. So I'm just saying, if depending upon the solution we see or the world we're trying to live in the future, that's based on how we have to organize each other. So if we're going to say, okay, we see living in a world where the blacks is with the blacks, or the yellows with the yellows, purples with the purples, then that's the concept I perceive we should maintain, and we should be addressing things like that. But I do also believe, even if the masses are thinking in terms of black and white, yellow and green, the masses ain't creating the solutions. The masses didn't create the problems either. It's always a group of people who competent enough to handle business, finance, and society that come up with a new way of thinking, a new way of looking at life. And from that perspective, they create ideas, social structures, so that then the masses could accept those to develop the world that a certain group of people thought. So there's brainiacs, architects, and then there's developers. They make the masses become developers by simply accepting the ideologies of the great thinkers and the great movers and shakers, bankers, and insurance agencies of the world. So I only say that to say, if we go down the color line route, I don't see that as a solution, even though I respect and understand the power of melanin. What I do perceive a solution is the way you live. What is your social compact? What rules are you standing by? That's why we talk about tribing up. We're going to be talking about tribing up here, because your tribe might not even be the family you living with if y'all don't really agree on how to live together. Your tribe may be the group of people that agree on how you live together, how you defend yourself, how you protect yourself, what y'all gonna do with y'all families. And you might find that there's different races, maybe Indian, Asians, black people, a couple white people, what we call, that all agree with living that way and can do that shit. Now that's a tribe, but in your household, you might still say, hey, I'm gonna fuck with my black woman or my Aboriginal woman. But in this greater tribe, how we gonna tribe up? Is we gonna only tribe up black, white, yellow, and green? When black people kill black people, white people kill white people, you never know who your op is these days.
Okay, can I respond?
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
All right. So first, what I figured out is, we at a point in time in America, those who were creating jobs and distributing all over, because certain time periods overlapped. like Abraham Lincoln. His time period overlapped with the Wild Wild West period, which overlapped with the Victorian period. I say that to say this. Blacks and whites, like indentured servants, like Irish, because there was a point in time where there wasn't a term black or white, but the overseers, more so those from Europe, or they really wanted to see, like, okay, who can we get this free labor from? Because they had to build this industrial area. So these areas, so who can we enslave first? They had to pay the Irish, and those European servants, they had people back home that were advocating for them in the kingdoms, but those already here and African slaves, they had nobody to vouch for them. So when we were all living together, we all were together, but when they made black and white, that differentiated it, because the whites indentured servants can blend into the towns with the local, with the wealthy folks and the common folk, but the blacks couldn't. And that's how the blacks got enslaved. And then they separated the darker natives of America from the lighter ones through the civil, that period. And there were Native American Confederate generals, bro. So I don't know any black Union generals. And so I definitely wanted to say that those terms were created for that division, so it would be easier to differentiate on the land who was a slave and who wasn't. Now, I want to bring it up to this. I have a question, and then I want to elaborate after you answer the question. Do you believe that foreign-born people have good intentions for Americans? I say Americans, people that have a direct tie and cannot go anywhere else.
Well, the only people who have a direct tie and can't go anywhere else is us, Aboriginals with the darkest skins, because technically everybody else literally is letting you know that they from somewhere else. So if we want to say that, Europeans say they from Europe, Indians know they from India, Germans know they from Germany, Irish know they from Ireland, literally. Yugoslavians know they from wherever the fuck they from, not even trying to put them down. But the only people that's over here on the land that's from this land is the most darkest melanated persons. That's a fact. Now, the question is, do other foreigners have good intentions? Well, I would say, yeah, some people, I would never say 100% of any group of people is anything. So I totally, truly perceive that some probably just want to get some money. Some just want to live free.
How was that for us, though? But how was that for us? Like the Indian store owners.
I'll put it like this: what's for us is always based on who we are and how we operating. It has nothing to do with what's going on external. Meaning, our degree. I would say it just like this: our degree. If we say there is a us, first of all, if there is a us, where is our government? If there is a us, where's our military? If there's us, where's our education department? That's why it's very important for people to tribe up. They said there was thousands of tribes before colonization in America, over 5,000 tribes. Do the research, you can see these tribes are families. Right now, it's about 574 federally recognized tribes. If you look up unrecognized tribes, there's still thousands of unrecognized tribes. Now, at the end and the beginning of the day, before colonization, before colonialism, we had what you call councils. We got the Grand Council of the Three Fires, you feel me, up in the Midwest. You got the Iroquois. You got the West Coast councils. We had our councils of governments that communicated to the families, and we had our rules and regulations. I'm here to say, without councils, without whoever your tribe is, you a chief of the tribe or you a master, you representing your family, right? Without you being able to represent your family, your tribe, me representing my family, my tribe, without us having rules and regulations that you actually can implement in your family or your tribe, I can implement in my family and my tribe, we can get some overstanding. Without that, it don't matter. It could be the most unorganized group of foreigners can come over here and do whatever the fuck they wanted. If we're not organized and respecting whatever systems we have, So I truly perceive that this is the time for nation building, like for people to understand and understand what are the elements of nation, what role do you play in that, and realize that nations don't always got to be huge. It could just be your family. But yeah, to answer the question, I would say yes. I perceive some foreigners have genuine intentions. I would also say that is not more important than who we are. If we are Aboriginal, what's most important is our capacity and our capability to govern ourselves. That's the most important, because in that world, us governing ourselves, then we can enforce our rights. We can defend ourselves. We know who is with us and who not, and what alliances we have and we don't have.
But what are the intentions to benefit those that are not them? If they are a foreign person coming over here to open up a business, where is the money coming to benefit blacks or whites in America or Hispanics in America? Anybody that does not look like them, what does it benefit?
Well, again, that is this whole conversation don't mean nothing to us until we establish a government. Anything we say about this ain't about nothing but the United States of America government, which is a provisional government. United States of America is a provisional government. They're trustees, they're administrators of the crown, and they literally managing things until the royal families of the land claim title the right way. There, we can get into that now. So again, comes back to the point. Look, whatever they doing, how could it benefit us? Who are we? I want to say, who are we? What name are we? What's our tribes? What's our rules of operation? It's time to establish that. If I could say, hey, Polo Real is the tribe of know your tribe. If I could understand your lick or your rules and regulations, how you operate, how do we operate? What's our commerce that we're doing? What's our shared government, our shared defense system? If we focus only on us, we will be capable of then enforcing some rights, handling some taxes and some treaties, dealing with this shit the right way. We must become the government of the whole land, because that's what time it is, man. So until we get to that point, I think the questions about them, I think even in war, man, it's war, bombs busting everywhere. Until you can get with your people and y'all say, okay, this is what we own, this is who we are, this is what we own. Until y'all can get y'all shit straight, you really can't do shit out there.
But let me
survive. All you can do is survive.
But let me respond though. See, we're being pulled in different directions. If you notice, any brother with some money nowadays has been pulled into all these other cultures. See, we are no longer the dominant culture. Every time a brother or a sister goes into a different race and goes with it, they become a part of that culture, and that culture gatekeeps that person. So you're not able to have somebody, and then also if the other race is with us and their family, they're a black sheep. They don't really align with them. But with us, we accept everybody. I think that we need a delineation, because blacks that get money legally and blacks that make problems, they throw us all into the same pot. And so I can go into a store with a suit on, a three-piece suit on, and a briefcase, and be clean cut like I am and everything else. But there's always going to be someone that grabs their purse. Now, me personally, I believe that America may turn into Brazil, which means that there will be communities with no blacks, and you will have Arab, white, Asian, and Indian in that area. The darkest will be Indian. It will not be black. It doesn't matter how good you do, because those cultures can live together without us. Now, we say we have to bring us together. The only way we're going to be able to fix this situation for us is to delineate. And we all have family members that we advocate for because we love them, because they're family, but that don't mean they living right. I got family. I live out here in Sacramento, California. My brother is a gang leader, right? I don't mess with the gangs, because all they do is eat each other alive. They sleep with each other's women. They rob each other. If you get too big, they get you set up. They go mess with the people. They deal with the police. It's just a dog eat dog. And then let's talk about the diet. You don't see no gang leaders or no gang members running in 12s like these football players or these ball clubs or anything like that. You see them shooting dice, drinking, eating fast food, going to spend their money. Also, I want to say this. In the white community, they have, if you look at white mega churches, they get stuff. Black churches don't really give you nothing. And so when you talk about what whites do for their community, it doesn't matter what religion they going off of. They have to contribute to their communities. Us, the Black community, has been reduced to a community of criminals, single mothers, and their bastards, because that's what they are to white men. They're bastards and immigrants. And the immigrants, they work together and they shun us out. That's why they don't teach their women English until they're established. So they can't communicate with us, because to everybody else, Black Americans are womenizers. They don't know how to have boundaries. So they sleep with each other's women and have meaningless squabbles so they can't get further. And so when you establish this is why you got immigrants that can come over here from Iraq or India and live in a house with 8. And then all 4 of them, one's Uber driving. Once he has enough to buy a new car, he gives it to the other. Now there's 2 Uber driving. And then when all 4 of them get little beat up cars and they're all Uber driving for a year, throwing their money in the pool, all their wives are living together, all the kids are getting taken care of by the wives while the men's making the money. In a year, they open up a pizzeria or a halal spot. And then you're like, damn, how these immigrants open up these shops and able to make this money? And they open them up in our neighborhoods. And the government incentivized them to open them up in our neighborhoods.
So look. I'm not against this story, but this story has been told since we were 7 years old, right? About how we are getting fucked, right?
Brother, I listen to you. Listen to me. I'm almost to my point. The circulation of the money. This is what I'm saying. They open them up in our neighborhoods, but in white neighborhoods, the money circulates. So it goes back. It goes back to the schools and the communities and the families. These Indians and these immigrants that open up these shops in our neighborhoods, Asians too, they don't live in our neighborhoods. They live across town in a different neighborhood. So they suck up all our money and they go invest it in our schools. And that's why we need to stop smoking weed. Because who owns all the cannabis shops? Ain't nobody that look like us. Who owns all the liquor stores? Ain't nobody that looks like us. Do you have a Black-owned grocery store where you at? Let's be honest. There's Chinese-owned supermarkets. There's Indian-owned supermarkets. There's white-owned supermarkets.
Let's think what we're talking about. We're talking about just business, though. It's not a bad thing. I'm not saying that what you're saying is bad. What you're saying is not true. I'm saying we're talking about business. You're talking about business. You're talking about how those people handle business.
We can't grow our communities if we don't have our money circulating.
Let's check it out. You can just start with money. We can't grow our communities if we don't have our money. Period.
We have the money. We spend it with them, and then they take our money, and it doesn't.
This is the thing. I'm not against what you're saying, but I know that we're solution oriented. So I'll put it like this. No matter what the fuck is going on in the world, think about it on a micro level. No matter what, all the facts you're talking about, you paying your bills, right?
Of course.
So no matter what, all the shit in the world going on, it could be 75,000 Black families in the world that ain't paying their bills. You still pay yours.
Of course.
It could be 75,000 people that chose to sell crack still today in 2024, but you ain't.
Of course.
So I truly perceive that sometimes just coming up with your macro solutions is the solution. Just coming up with a solution that keeps you good, and whoever you perceive your family is, whoever look you in the eyes and they call you family and you know y'all family, y'all good. Now, if y'all can go find another group that can look each other in the face and they on the same page and they good, that might be a group that you might want to do some business with.
Right, but then you're saying that you don't care about your future generations.
I'm not saying that at all. I'm talking about how to take care of your future generation. And taking care of my future generation is not going to come because of me talking about or thinking or just over acknowledging the situation of how it became. But it will come with me over acknowledging the solution. So if you found a solution for yourself personally, then you can find a solution for your family. If you found a solution for your family, then maybe 2 families can find a solution for their neighborhood. If 2 families can find I'm just coming up with numbers. If 2 families can find a solution for their neighborhood, maybe there can become a community. So if you can look at your community and you can see, okay, we got this problem, this problem, this problem, this problem. First off, a lot of the small problems have big implications. So we're in neighborhoods, call them our neighborhoods, but they're not ours because we still are being treated like, as you want to call it, slaves, because this is true, being treated like slaves, being treated like we're second-class citizens.
Criminals, prostitutes.
Criminals, now look, it's 2024 though. It's knowledge about how to get up out those jams. It's knowledge about how to get your status right. It's knowledge about how to set up your family right, how to set up your tribe right. It's knowledge about how to, regardless of if the money's not circulating, circulation of money, it has to deal with economics, with the knowledge of economics. That's the knowledge of economics creates circulation. A. B, you have to access the source of the funds. So if we're still living in a world where the source of funds is the United States government, we're not dealing in our own private notes. We don't have our own central bank. We don't have our own, again, you can't have a central bank if you don't have a government, right? So if Polo Rail, if you had access to a central bank, I believe we can start talking about some money. And I truly believe that that can happen if we accept the responsibility to accept the capability of nationhood. Because really, in the neighborhood, you're going against nations. In a neighborhood where your money not circulating, it may look like you just got some immigrants, but they getting paid from a government, right? Who is on a board with an international government. And they're making international banking decisions. So this is flowing from an international banking institution with investors, with insurance agents, and on the ground, it just looked like an immigrant coming over here. And on the ground, it looked like my people ain't even on their shit.
Oh, no. I'm not saying that at all.
I'm not saying that you're saying this. I'm saying this. I'm saying that on the ground, the problem doesn't always reflect the source of the problem. So, for instance, if money not flowing, maybe we need access to our own central banking.
We have the money. We have the money, but we don't have community. We don't have family. If we can't even stay together for our kids to get out of high school, and we want to split and co-parent, and then your money going to child support, but you still got to take care of this household and how you going to invest in anything? How you going to invest?
Again, I'm not saying it's easy. I'm simply saying a solution.
It's impossible.
It's not. I'm going to say this right now. I'm going to say this right now. Anything's impossible if you think it is, and anything is possible if you want to think it is. What we're speaking of is this simple fact. I'm speaking of a simple fact that is possible. It is possible for you to start a nation. If there's a nation in the world, if you can open your eyes and see another nation, then you can have a nation.
What state do you live in?
Secondly, I just want to go down a list of what's possible. It is possible to have a nation if there's a nation existing. Second thing, it is possible to have a central bank if there's a central bank existing. Third thing, if we don't have communities, then shit, accept the responsibility to build it, then there is possible to create a community. Identify what it takes. If you want the land in the area where you're at, find out who the real aboriginals who own that land. The real aboriginals
tell you, man. That's why every time someone says go back to Africa, why hasn't the American government said where they got their slaves from? Maybe because they're not from Africa. You see what I'm saying?
Never said Africa. I say we from here.
Exactly. I'm saying that too. What tribe you from? My great grandmother, she's full Native American. She told me she didn't get the checks because the lady Stella Brooks over her and her family, she divvied it up to certain people in the family and then divvy it up to others in the family so they can keep more money. That happens a lot, and it still happps today in certain families. Certain favoritism over certain favoritism. But now with us taking on different identities, the world view does not respect Black Americans. They see us as infants, as toddlers.
Again, even that statement can't help me, so I don't acknowledge it. But what I do acknowledge is this. I'm just being real with you. Let me explain. If I'm in the war, I can't keep acknowledging what my enemy thinks. I'm talking about tribing up. I'm talking about solutions. It don't look at this point, the youth, we can tell them about what the world thinks, but solution. If you say we don't have a community, let's talk about developing that. I'm with that. If you say,
I don't think you can develop the community right now, man. We're too far gone.
Well, can I be honest with you? If your answer is that there is no solution, we're definitely on a different page of life. Because look, if you can wake up and you can find a solution for yourself, right? You found a solution for you to make it in this world. Even in that saying, wherever you from, you can look outside. There's a bunch of niggas doing a bunch of bullshit, right? But you find a solution for you. All I'm asking for you and brothers like you is to take that energy and shine it. Because if you could find a solution for you, you could find one more brother to connect with, or a sister, or a young man to connect with. And now you got 2 or 3. Guaranteed, if you believed and had faith that you could, maybe it ain't in your generation. Maybe it is in your generation. But the fact of the matter is you playing a role right now. You represent something to people out there in your area who think how you're living is not possible. So please, if you might be the highest standard that some young black man has in his world, because he only see the bullshit and that, but then you might be, okay, you got a job, my man taking care of his household, and then he come over and chop it up with you. Please don't tell that nigga ain't no hope. Let me explain. If you're at the top of your society, even if your society is some of the lowest in society, find a way, bro. It's our chance. It's our opportunity. We have a chance in this lifetime to develop solutions. That's all I'm going to say.
I believe that we've been infiltrated too much to where there's too much division. I believe that if we delineate and become like a subgroup of certain brothers with certain, like a think tank, then we do have hope. But we have to delineate from the trash within us. We cannot.
We're not just sitting around talking to everybody. Like even in your family, you don't invite everybody to your dinner.
But everyone feels entitled to come to the dinner table.
Look, again, everything can't get addressed in war. So we ain't got time to deal with the people who mad they ain't at the table. We have no time for that. What you do have time for is, again, solution orientation. If you took care of your household, boom. Let's find out who really owned that land in your community. Meaning, who was the Aboriginal tribes before the current county annexed that land? Okay? Period, point blank, period. Find out who that tribe is who owned the land before the annexation of the county. Secondly, tribe up with that tribe. If that tribe is not in existence, form that tribe back up. You see what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, we dealing with a timeline and a time zone right now where we do have the right to reclaim our land. We do have the right to reestablish our tribal governments, and we do have the right to get ourselves up out this jam. So look, I welcome the conversation, and I understand the other part where it's just horrible, where it's just impossible. I get it. But shit, I'm still alive. As long as I'm still alive, my heart's still beating. I'm solution oriented, even if it ain't seem like it's a way at all.
Okay. Hey, can you what state are you in?
Right now I'm in Brazil, where I was born in Chicago. Born in Chicago.
Okay, so I lived on 71st and Sangamon as a child. My great grandmother, she's from Illinois. My mom was born in what's that called? Decatur, Illinois. I've been to Wilmington, Peoria, Springfield, Illinois. I've been all through there. I've been to Michigan. So I got all my native ancestry is from out there. So I kind of I got a royalty family. My mom's maiden name is Day. We related to Morris Day from Morris Day at the time. So we really through there. I also want to ask you another question since you're a little political. Do you believe that America will be able to survive going into next year after this election? It's
survive in America, of course, because you're talking about a landmass. America is a landmass, not a people. The United States of America is a country, not a state, not a sovereign. I don't look at it as a sovereign controlling force. There's provisional governments. What I perceive based on my research is that whatever the fuck is going on ain't even the shit we should focus on. What I perceive based on my research is that all of these governments are provisional. The UK government is provisional. The United States of America government are trustees. They're administering property on behalf of the original Aboriginals. And I literally, based upon my research of reading and looking at all this shit consistently, the only thing that any of these provisional governments and or our people is really waiting on for a new tide is for us. People like you, me, if we the original Aboriginals out here, our families, to start tribing back up, reclaiming their land, and telling the provisional governments we got this. But how can you do that until you actually get back into the knowledge of governance, get back into the knowledge of nation building, get back into the knowledge of what does it take to have an education system, a healthcare system, civil systems. We got to manage all this. And when managing things, you can't just be black and white, because even if you got your tribe, right? You got your tribe. You know you black, but you stand up and you look at your landmass. If we was to look at the whole landmass of America, we say, shit, yeah, it's ours. Yeah, it's been taken over. If we get our government structures back and we understand how to do that, we still got to deal with the fact of what it is now. Right now, we got all these races over here from all everywhere. What we gonna do? Religions,
and we got different
religions. You got races, but guess what? This is something that we've dealt with already thousands of years ago. We understand what a kingdom is, bro. Let me explain. That's why we got to study governments again. We have to get back into nation building, because in nation building is how you organize a community. So you can have a tribe, and that tribe can have its own rules. The tribe can be part of a community with many tribes. All the tribes can have their own different way of living. That community can be a city or even a state, even a nation. That nation can have different rules than the city. The community can have different rules than the tribe. And then that nation can have different rules than the kingdom. But that nation could be part of, like, it could be 20 different nations a part of one kingdom. What am I trying to say? Life ain't black and white, even when it's black and white. Until we learn how to manage the resources of the world, we can't have a community. Because even within the community, you got different herbs, different trees, different plant life, different mineral life, air, water, fire, air, earth. You got all these institutions, all these different races and religions. No matter who you are, no matter what your personal beliefs are, no matter what your personal culture is, you have to find a way. Oh, you have to find a healthy way of managing the resources in your landmass, which includes other races, other religions, other people who think different ways.
I have to say, in America, blacks ain't getting their hands on those resources. And I don't think Arabs or Indians, or I think it's going to be the total up, the top of the class is going to get to that, not blacks. I don't.
Well, again, I know for a fact blacks won't, because the word black means a dead person in law. So what I'm speaking of is awakened, knowledgeable, spiritual persons who understand what nation building is. I know for a fact that's the only type of people who run in shit. So if you choose to learn what nation building is, learn about running a community, then you automatically qualified to do that shit. So I know for a fact, if you learn about shooting guns, you learn about selling drugs, you learn about robbing, then you automatically qualify for the jail cell. Yeah. Automatic qualification. So this is the point. Regardless of what it looks like, I gives a fuck if 99.99999% of motherfuckers knew and thought and knew for fucking certain we couldn't make it. I don't care. I don't give a fuck. I did the math. 0.0000001% of the world is 785 people. Well, 78 people. 0.0000001% of the world is 785 people. I truly believe you don't need that many people to run a whole nation. You don't need that many people to run a world, to run a community. You only need 3, 4, 5 people damn near in one city. Because if you have one person who understands banking, you have one person who understands civics, you have another person who understands sociology, another person who understands science, another person who understands commerce, understanding and overstanding that, they can create the systems for the masses in that place. You don't need everybody to understand banking for everybody to get paid. You don't need everybody to know how to do surgery for everybody to have access to a good healthcare system. So I only say that to say, according to all the data that's being propagated, we have no fucking hope in hell. We have no hope at all. But based upon the facts of the matter, that I'm still alive, my heart beating, you still alive, your heart beating, our souls are still here, and the facts of law, I truly believe that we can do anything. And when I say we, I'm not just saying black people. I'm not that black or white person. I don't think like that at all.
I see that. I see that.
I don't think like that because my life has taught me better. My life has taught me through my experience.
You, bro. I probably got more of a mix than you do. I'm just keeping it. I'm just being honest as far as the American community and what's going on. They're implementing caste in America. And
well, they can implement that all day. You live in
Brazil. You see Brazilian millionaires that are my color that have to live in the favelas. They cannot live in the suburbs.
But I also see people like this is living high class everywhere in the world. So again, I myself personally, again, you don't need many exceptions to the rule to make the exception a regularity. I say it again. You don't need many exceptions to the rule to make that exception a regularity, which means things don't have to look like what they're going to be for me to know they can be that. You feel me? And if this world, if we know without a shadow of a doubt that once upon a time we ruled the whole North America and there was no Caucasians ruling shit, and we can open our eyes and we can see the way that it's looking now, then that's evidence right there.
Black and white, I think it's nationality. I think Americans are under attack. If Americans have lineage to slavery or anything before 1960, you have a stake in America. You don't know where you're going to go. You stuck here. But if you immigrated over here, you are coming over here with the plan to be able to vote your people over here and take over this land, sort of like multiculturalism. People send them over here and then they go to their land and then they take over. This is what I'm thinking. That's why I'm saying black people, especially black men like me, have to separate. They have too many trick bags in the neighborhood. Even some of the children have to get abandoned, bro, because the moms is not on the right frequency.
I agree.
Have to get abandoned because
I agree, and I'm not against that. I'm just saying for those. The focus is
coming over here on that, bro. In fact, they getting their money and they getting their businesses and then they sending it back to their home countries.
I don't think nothing's wrong with that.
That's suffering right now. Boys that look like me and you, they have federal programs for the girls. But us black boys, bro, I'm telling you, look, it's a patriarchy in the world. It's not a matriarchy. But us in African American culture and Black American culture, we've been taught under a matriarchy. But over the world, it's a patriarchy. And non-black men love black women. They will have sex with black women, have babies with them and breed them out. But they want to extinguish all black men. Black men are the only threat to non-black men all across the world. You don't see that. But if the interracial thing only benefits white men if they're whitening the race. But when
I'm not saying I don't see it. I'm not saying I don't see it. I just choose to focus.
They don't want us white. They don't want us darkening the race. They don't want us.
I feel you on that, but that ain't my look, man. I feel you on all of that. I do. But I just know that I can't control their perspective. And regardless of their perspective,
that's why you gotta
know how to do. I know. I'm not saying it, bro. I'm not saying to go kick it with them. I'm just talking about the work to be done, whether separate or not. Separate or not, we got some work to do. We gotta organize. We have communities to build, and you can't build no community without the knowledge of nation building. So the science of the day, the order of the day is nation building. It's literally that, and it's not hard. It's not difficult. It's just like building a business. You just have to know what aspects are there to a nation, what roles have to be played out, play them to the degree that you can, and grow. Really that simple.
You got a clean house. It was good talking to you, bro, man. Have me on soon again, man.
Yeah, definitely. I rocks with you 1,000,000%, man. I don't think that there's a disagreement. I just perceive that this is a place for solutions, man. We do build tribes, bro. Whether you know it or not, I rocks with you 1,000,000,000% for showing up. I'm the founder of Love Nation, man. I'm gonna type the little link in there. Just check out Love Nation, man. www.lovenationamericanindians.org.
I got you. I'm gonna
Right.
support your business, brother, and I'm gonna spread the news.
Check it out. You don't gotta buy nothing or nothing like that. That's not what I'm on right now. I just want you to check it out to feel the vibes of what we on. Hit me up, man. My email's in the DM, man. I like to chop it up with you after this, or not even after this, but later on, man.
Of course,
we can get into some shit. I'm about to move on though, man. It's nice to holler at you, Polo. I'm gonna keep the conversation going because I promise the motherfucker to a couple more things, man. So what we getting into right now? We getting into this Haitian situation. Oh yeah, we got to get into the Haitian situation because what do we see going on in Haiti? This is some shit that you really got to think about. In Haiti right now, the United States of America then sent Kenyan troops from Kenya. They call some black cuzzos. Hey, cuzzos, y'all Kenyans, yeah, y'all part of the Commonwealth, right? Yeah, yes, we are part of the Commonwealth. We need you to go on over there and kick your cousin's ass. Why you gotta do that? Well, we finna talk about it. I'm gonna take it a little slow. This clearly is going a little longer than I expected, but it's cool. We're gonna see why the fuck is they in Haiti? Why the fuck is Kenya in Haiti? What the fuck is going on? And could that happen in America? Could you see some foreign troops coming to America fighting against the gangs in America because the gangs in America trying to stand up against the colonial powers who fucking raping and pillaging and not giving the people they just do? Let's check it out. Let's see what the fuck is going on in Haiti. You see what I'm saying? Let's see. First, we're going to get into why they in Haiti. What's some information that we found out about the resources that's in Haiti that got people invading them in the first place? Let's check this shit out. Hey, it ain't never no excuses in life, but shit, my whole computer is crashed on me. It died as far as losing energy, man. And we just gonna continue this round to another video because I ain't gonna continue, man. It's an hour 23 minutes into some 20-minute shit. This is my first time actually ever going live, talking about some other conversations. You feel me? And having a guest. So I shout out to my man Polo Real for joining in. But we gonna end this one. And then we're gonna continue this as far as the second, third part, as far as about Haiti and about, you know what I'm saying, just to getting into deep about Haiti. We're gonna do that probably tomorrow or another day. But I fucks with y'all who fucks with me. Tap in, love Nation American Indians for some high level services. You feel what I'm saying? At the end of the day, it's a whole bunch of shit going on. And we got to get this shit together, whether we do a household at a time, an individual at a time, a nation or a community at a time. Rock out.
Are you tired of being subjected to rules and regulations that do not serve you or your family? Are you willing to go against the grain in the name of wisdom, freedom, family, honor, and trust? We provide simple solutions to complex problems. Take control of your own affairs in life. Tribe Up with Tribes and Trusts TV.
On our mission now, your time is up. Took us 400 years, had to size you up. Our word is born, no more dividing us. We now know what to do with all these tribes and trusts. I'm overseas with these tribes and trusts. Don't need no other keys but these tribes and trusts. Frequency sovereignty with these tribes and trusts. Watch me get families free with these tribes and trusts. Overstepping your boundaries, I balance you. I'm bona fide, fuck a challenger. Sent the revocation certified, fuck a manager. In control of my soul, fuck a handler. All these assets that's held for the tribes and trusts. Prophecies get fulfilled with the tribes and trusts. Heard they get out of jail with the tribe and trust. Fuck around, get you nailed for the tribe and trust. On our mission now, your time is up. Took us 400 years, had to size you up. Our word is born, no more dividing us. We now know what to do with all these tribes and trusts. I'm overseas with these tribes and trusts. Don't need no other keys but these tribes and trusts. Frequency sovereignty with these tribes and trusts. Watch me get families free with these tribes and trusts. Tribing up, we 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 tribing up with these tribes and trusts. We tribing up, 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 we tribing up with these tribes and trusts. We tribing up, put the tribe in the trust, manifesting this wealth with the tribe and trust. Resurrected myself with these tribes and trusts. Ancestors left us these tribes and trusts. The people is rising up, yeah. Free all the guys from cuffs. Tribes and trusts, rising up with tribes and trusts.
You heard the Mansa. Tribe up and take care of your own affairs in life. Your life depends on it. Your future depends on it. Your family depends on it. Establish your family tribes and trusts with Kyle Mansa, founder of Love Nation American Indians. If you need advanced or rush services, schedule a consultation.